I just can't get into the weeds in a lot of this like stuff. Like unless you want to make your entire identity about women and pickup and dating, and it's like there's more to life as a guy than just chicks. Um, are women a nice ingredient, a nice add-on? Yes, but I like doing a lot of other stuff that doesn't involve chicks. Business related, friend related, adventure related, uh, inner work. It doesn't matter what it is, but there's a lot of stuff that I talk about and I've encouraged you guys to put effort on. And a lot of it we deal with in the aspects of the unplugged brotherhood and the communities that Moff and I talk about, and the events that we hold, because we don't have any, like, for example, at the 1% forum, I don't have a pickup artist talking about getting in the weeds about small talk with chicks because it's not important. It's too much into the fine nitty gritty fucking details that I just don't care about. Moff, I'll shut up. Go ahead.
Um, yeah, I mean, I've seen Casey's stuff. Like, it seems like he relies on a lot of like shock value. I mean, which is cool. Like, I don't know if the guy's right or wrong. I would say like, is it? I mean, look, you got to break down what does he mean by small talk? You talking about the weather? You talking about the BS that's going on with like your 9 to 5 day job? You talking about like politics and like, oh, Trump did this, Trump did that. It's like, yeah, man. I mean, he's taking something that's kind of a no-brainer and he's extrapolating it into this sort of like very in the weeds, like psychology, sort of brainiac sort of thing, which again, I think there are things to know. I think there's a baseline of knowledge about, female psychology and how their brains work and what they find attractive in men. And then the rest of that time and effort should be spending doing things that are going to benefit you and build you. I mean, sure, all this makes sense, but it's like, how often are you spending time with these women? Are you living with these women? Are you taking them out all the time? Are you spending all day? Like, small talk? Like, yeah, I could get behind that, and I guess I can agree, but it's like, I don't make small talk with women because I'm not really around women that I'm not dating or seeing in some sort of sexual way. And if I am, I'm doing things that are going to make me sexually attractive, or I'm around them in the arena or the environment and atmosphere of sex and intimacy, not talking about like the weather or sports or politics or anything like that. So um sure, I guess what he says makes sense, but I think it's one of those things where, just like the previous caller, Isaiah, it's like guys can get really, really in the weeds when it comes to this stuff and obsess about the female psychology. And at the end, like there's a point of diminishing returns. At some point, it's like, all right, dude, like cool. You know how women work on a psychological level, but like what's your net worth? Like, are you in good shape? Are you a leader of men? Do you have status? Do you have power? Do you have clout? Do you have a powerful network? Like all that sort of stuff is is far more important than knowing really niche intricacies of the female brain, in my opinion.
The female brain's simple. It just wants the best that it can get.
Well, I agree, but I found in my life that even the last like 4 or 5 years have been so much consideration of this subject of women, because when I was in my 30s, I took this gal out on a date on a hike, and I realized on the way to pick her up, I was like, I don't even know what women want to talk about, and it dawned on me, and I think just a point a lot of guys need to recollect, or they need to understand, that it's like I haven't read a book on women before. Like I was amazed that I had not, like scratched around in this area in my 20s. But
Have you
then
read my
again,
book?
I have not. I'll be honest, I've not. But I've,
Yeah, there you go. Start there, man.
yeah,
Forget about the weeds. Like there's too many guys that get caught up in like these weird details that just don't really matter. They just don't. And it's like you waste all this time online arguing with people about stuff like that. And it's like, did you make $1 million last year?
I did not.
I'd be asking questions like, how do I do that?
But
Because
I,
there's cool shit out there that money can solve for you. Like money solves problems and it creates options beyond anything that you can comprehend. And it's like it like there's a power that comes when you get to the fuck you point of your life where you're more anti-fragile, well, where you've got money, where like you don't care about, oh, do you talk to women like they're, you know, do you make small talk or do you not make small talk? Because this guy said, how I date women, I treat them like a little sister, you know,
Well, they have to
not
respect your
so much
feelings.
that it's like sibling style, but just enough where it's like, you kind of like flick them on the nose. It's like you pat them, oh, that's cute, sort of thing. Like you don't actually do that, but it's like
Teasing,
that's
teasing.
yeah,
It,
teasing almost. But if you get to the point where it's like you're at that, you don't care about the fucking weeds, man. You just don't care about those like, oh well, if you do this, or are you going to be like ruining other women for other people, or never make small talk because it brings you to a level that's like, you know, brings you at her level or whatever it happens to be. And it's like, I'm not trying to shit talk Xander, but it's just like I just don't care. And I think
well,
the
yeah,
only guys that have time to care about stuff like this are the guys that are distracted by women as the primary goal. Like, why aren't you making more money? Why aren't you doing things that are going to lead you to making more money? What kind of adventures do you want to take in your life? What kind of men do you want to surround yourself with that are going to keep you accountable? Or are you just going to chase girls and the first one that touches your pee-pee, you're going to put a ring on her finger, announce enthusiastically online, oh my God, she said I do, and then you go down that rabbit hole of bullshit where you're the guy on the other end of the TikTok video where the chick's like, I was never attracted to my husband, but here we are 7 years later, and I've got the kids, and I took him for half his shit.
you bring so much clarity for guys. I
I mean, I
really
just try to
appreciate
keep it simple, man. Like I talk to you guys like I would talk to my 20-year-old self.
the can I say the guy you had on with the Amish beard, and you told him the wedding story about wearing shorts at the wedding.
Yeah.
Um, you gave him incredible advice. He absolutely needed to hear that because he had a lot. He has a lot going for him. He just needed somebody because the style thing. You were spot on about that, and probably nobody has given him that advice before. I highly doubt. Not the way you did. So
I mean, the
I just
probability of him listening to it is not as high as I realize that it should be, but I get your point. Thank you very much.
he was a young guy too. I mean, I just the point. Just to come back once, I just mentioned this thing about specialty educations about these different layers because when I look back at my journey of kind of getting onto this stuff, this subject a few years back, in hindsight, I would almost say like you need a couple years of maybe not every day, just regular ingesting of like I'd like to learn about this subject, and it's crazy how politically correct the reality is about how we're hardwired. You know, the this stuff, this Evo Psych stuff that you reference is it really is groundbreaking to me, at least hearing it. And I appreciate that you always reference scientific literature and you're skeptical that you say, well, this study or that you give that credence and that means a lot because I grew up just going to like a Lutheran church and not a bad experience, but it dawned on me way later how impactful that upbringing is in terms of I always kind of wanted like a long-term girlfriend, a kid, I mean, it was kind of like default, setting as I grew up. But now I'm enjoying the unplugged experience. I'm far more, I have way more satisfaction and I respect women more because of what you guys teach in terms of, I mean, you cover it all, the psychology, the basics, the basics and
What do
beyond
you
of what,
what do you
what
let me
you
just
need.
stop you for a sec. What do you respect women more for?
Well, I understand their perspective. They have to be competitive. They were the childbearing,
Mhm.
gender, obviously going throughout history. So they're going to have a different psychology to guys. And I notice it's very taboo nowadays to describe things in terms of men and women. Like even people don't really talk much about the benefits of a guy and his like very are very like objective perspective. people don't talk about it like it's a benefit, but it's really, it can be helpful to, I mean, obviously. So it is fascinating. I see in my own kin and groups that I'm not so impressed with the church and that version of things because it does not educate guys about what they really need to know, the meat and potatoes of, like you said, being the best guy, like in your pool, in your group. Better to be a big fish in a small
Right.
pond. And all the
Do yourself
philosophies, I just everything
do
you put
yourself a
on
solid,
your
Tor. Grab a copy of the second edition of my first book. It's on Audible, you can listen to it, you can read it, whatever, but grab a copy and start there so that you can frame your head properly around a lot of these concepts, because whenever I hear somebody get into the weeds on like a not that significant of an issue, when they've got other underlying problems, they've got other things that are bigger targets that they should be trying to hit. I'm like just start with the book, man.
Yeah. Well, and in defense, when I took that gal out and I asked that question of like what do they want to talk about, uh that's because I just want to succeed, with women. And so I just appreciate it. The information is very underrated, and
Oh, I know.
I it's incredible. Yeah.
Thanks, Tor.
So
See ya. Yeah.
Thanks, dude.
Oh, guys, always start with the book. Like the Unplugged Alpha second edition is the one you want. It's less than $10 on a Kindle. You can download it for an Audible credit. I narrated it myself. Um, I got I got the second one coming out later on this year. If you're at the forum, you'll get a copy in October. Otherwise, public gets it the month after. It's a banger. Moff, you've been through a lot of the material. I saw a lot of your markups on it.
Yeah,
There's
it's
lots
good
of
stuff.
there's lots of concepts in there that'll tie the two together. But beyond that, join the community, the entrepreneursincars.com/community. You can start there on the website. The School of Unplugging is less than $50 a month. That's less than a cost of going out and picking up a coffee every day. So if you really like to get your head squared away and you want to do it in more areas than just women, we've got all the modules in there and the videos and the lessons that teach you all that in the classroom section. You want to learn how to make life-changing money. You want to learn how to trade with crypto. You want to learn how to write resumes for LinkedIn. You want to learn how to level up your online social score with Instagram. We got a guy that handles that sort of stuff. We got a guy for everything. You want to fix your health, your nutrition. I do weekly Zoom calls for 90 minutes every Wednesday morning. I make a coffee and sit down and I shoot the shit with, 2, 3 dozen guys often. So if that's appealing to you and you're serious about it, hop into the community, right? All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the courses tab. Newer to the channel, hit subscribe.